Trying to organize the hanger here, and so to organize the hanger, I'm making hangers. Anyway, these are some of my hammers hanging up, and then down here I hung up some of the this is a Nicopress sleeve compressor, or compression sleeve compressor, cable cutter, and a bolt cutter. These are 3-inch pipe. I put a cap on the end of them. I'll drill those for a couple screws, and then I can use those to put nail pullers in and stuff like that, some of the other stuff. This is for my grease guns to fit in. That's the size. They wouldn't fit in a 2-inch pipe. Well, anyway, I took a piece of 3/4 inch and just used some PVC cement and glued onto the 1/4 inch onto the side of it, and see how this works. But this is for the end of the hose on the grease gun to fit down in, to kind of keep it from flopping all over and grabbing your pants with a gob of grease when you walk by or something else. These are the 2-inch pipe. This works well for most of the things, and like I said, I screwed them up round for handles, like hammer handles and things like that are short. Now for my shovels and other things, axes and stuff, I took and cut out about 1.5 inch piece out of these, and then you can spring them open and they'll spring closed against the handle of a hammer, or a big hammer like a sledgehammer or an axe, or my shovels. Show you that in a second. Okay, this is my wall where I have my long handled tools. I kind of got a mess over here as usual, but see how the shovels fit in there. They just hang in there real well, and that's a bark spud there, and falling axe, double bitted axe. So you just turn that sideways and it'll pop out of there, and just pick it up where the handle is thinner, and it comes right out. It's got enough spring in it, and then to get it in, you just pop it in like that. So you can see my sledgehammers fit that way. Now the PVs, I put a little piece up there for the handle, and that springs in and out like that. You might have to push on it a little bit to get it to slide in. I could probably sand those edges down and make it slide a little easier. But then for the bottom of the PV, I just screwed on a longer piece down there, because it drops down in there and carries the weight of the PV, and that keeps the point of it up off the ground and keeps it from swinging out. Timber jack here, and I did the same thing. I just put 2 pieces in horizontally for the handles instead of 1 piece vertically like I did for the saws. You can see and then have a bow saw up there, a couple small pieces in it to hang on to the handle. So anyway, that makes a nice clean way to store some tools and keep them out of the way, and keep them handy. Bunch of pipe pretty well set up here to hang the tools up on. I put 4 or 5 extra ones up on that wall there. I'm sure I can find something to put in them. And I took some 3-inch. Now that's 2-inch PVC plastic pipe, and just cut them about 3 inches. I just eyeballed them, cut them off on the miter saw, chop saw. Before I did it on the radial arm saw. Either way works fine. But I drilled a big hole in one side of them. You can see here a larger diameter hole in one side of them that fit the screw heads and the screwdriver. Then I pre-drilled a small hole on the opposite side of them, and on those 2-inch pipe I used 1.25 inch drywall screw to screw them into the wall. Then I got some 3-inch PVC pipe there, put an end cap on them, and that one there I happen to have flat bars in it, nail puller bars, and a cat's paw, and I drilled weep holes in the bottom in the cap on that so that they would any moisture, any water that build up in them, rain or anything like that, happen to catch in them, would drain out. You can see I put 2 screws in those, and I used a larger screw. I think I used a number 8, and I used a 2-inch screw on those because they're a little more weight in those. The thing that I didn't anticipate was the gap. When you put that cap on the bottom, it's almost a 1/4 of an inch, 3/8 of an inch, something like that. On the cap is bigger than round in diameter than the pipe, so I needed a standoff on those, something so it'd fit tight against the wall. I just cut shims out of thin piece of wood that I happen to have here. I just cut off shims and stuck it on the back there and put the screws through them. They split the wood, but they're held in there tight, and that'll hold it tight against the wall, against the stud. Now if you were putting those up on just a 2x4 where the cap was down below the 2x4 like the 2-inch pipe is, that wouldn't be a problem. But these are a little longer pipes, and they need a little bit more support on them. And so anyway, they got another one down below that one. That one's got some tire irons in it, and then over here on this side, I used a piece of 4-inch ABS. I put a cap on it, weep holes in it, and that's got my crowbars in it. There'll be more crowbars than that in it when we get them all fished out. Now the 4-inch ABS is softer pipe than the PVC, and the screw head sunk into it a little bit when I put those in and tightened them up. So PVC might have been a better option there, but I would have had to buy a whole stick of Schedule 40 PVC, and I already had the ABS pipe there. I just had to buy the end cap for it. So it'll work fine for that. And I got these, I wanted to hang my, or put my grease guns up, and let's see, right now I just have them in a bucket, and that actually works out pretty good because the oil that comes out of suspension and the grease that drips out just drips down the bottom of the bucket, doesn't get all over the place. Over here on the wall, I would have made a tray to go underneath them, and but I measured those grease guns, and a 2.5-inch PVC pipe would have worked for a hanger for those. But I went all over town and I couldn't find any 2.5-inch PVC, and I did find a couple of sticks of 2.5-inch electrical conduit, Schedule 40, and so I got one of those. And the problem is that the Schedule 40 electrical conduit is not 2.5 inches inside diameter. It's like 2 and what did I? It's 2 3/4 or 2 3/8. Yeah, 2 3/8 inside diameter. So that didn't, those grease guns don't fit down in it. So I'm going to have to do something else. I can either, I've got a small piece of the 3-inch pipe left, enough that I can cut some 2-inch pieces of the 3-inch pipe and screw on there and use that. Or well, I couldn't find any 2.5-inch pipe anywhere in town. Well, I could get somebody to send me some, but something that As you can see on that grease gun doesn't go all the way down into that holder, so the idea of the little tab or the little pipe on there to hold the end of the grease gun is a non-starter there. But it looks like it still might be a usable idea. And what I did is I just used PVC cement to glue on these little pieces of 3/4 inch. And this happens to be Schedule 40 electrical conduit. But I wasn't sure it was going to work, but it actually holds on there pretty tight. It actually glued it on there better than I thought it would. So that come off now, but it took quite a bit of working to get it off. And it actually indented into the big pipe a little bit there. You can see a little bit around where it's indented in there. So if I'd left it sit overnight, it might have worked even better. I'll try it. These basically, you use them for something else now. Can't use them for what I originally intended. So anyway, that's my tool hanger. I made another one of those 4-inch ones, and as I said earlier, I was going to use it for my pinch bars, my big bars, and so that's it there. And there's my pinch bars in there. I only have 2 pinch bars, and they fit in there pretty good. That's about a 2-foot length of ABS, maybe a little bit longer than 2 feet, and I've got it held on with four screws instead of 3 onto that 2x4 upright. So anyway, that looks like it's going to hold real well there. Had a couple of little problems come up putting that in. I've got this real long screwdriver bit that I could put in the chuck in the drill chuck. It's real long to reach through those holes through those pipes, and it was more than long enough for the 2-inch ones, but when I started getting to the 4-inch ones, it's just long enough. But one of the problems that I was having with that is, of course, this tip has been worn a little bit, so it doesn't hold it's Phillips, and so it doesn't hold the screws quite as well. And it's real long, and they get way out there, cantilevered out, and trying to stick them through the hole and everything. Getting them to stay on the end was practically impossible, and you can't reach down in that pipe to hold on to them or anything. Well, several days ago, or a couple months ago, I ordered some of these rare earth magnets. This is a pretty good sized one here, and it's pre-drilled, countersunk for a large flathead machine screw or bolt. And so I grabbed it and just slid it over the bit, and it goes right on against the chuck real nice, and the countersink part of it fits up into the, well, it doesn't really, I was going to say the chuck jaws expand out into it, so it fits right tight against the chuck, but they don't really come out that far on this. But anyway, that made a big difference holding the screws on there. And you could actually pick them up when they dropped and stuff. It magnetizes that tip pretty good. So